It's Women's Month this August, and we are celebrating women. It's important for us to zoom into the industries where they might not have been there before, but now they're making small strides in, and there are women that are making a change there. And we're speaking to one of them, and she's helping us understand what more can we do to make sure women in tech actually have more strides in that industry. Samantha Perry, co-founder of Women in Tech, joins us. Samantha, we've contextualized the struggle, the challenge. I mean, you are a woman in tech, I suppose, and I want to get into your experience. How did you get your interest in the technology field?
So in a galaxy far, far away, it was about 30 years ago.
But I think this example is going to make a difference because many people don't see those woman figures and they don't have examples such as yourself.
Yeah, so I landed up in tech by accident. I studied a national diploma in public relations, literally towards the end of the last century. And being a national diploma, you had to do a year prac, and I ended up doing my year prac at Telkom. And this was in 1995 when the internet was just becoming a thing. And because Telkom was the incumbent at the time, they had internet access, and there was an engineer, graduate student, a few floors down from me, who was exploring the internet. And the two of us used to sit and drink copious amounts of coffee and explore what was then available online. But that got me interested, and that completely randomly kind of showed me a different world. And I then went on to work for in a PR role in a couple of tech companies, and then ended up working as a technology journalist because I always wanted to be a journalist. It was my dream. I couldn't afford to go to the road, so I did a national diploma in PR with the intention of moving across, and that's what I did. And I worked as a journalist in the tech sector until about 10 years ago when I shifted back to public relations. But working in that tech sector, and particularly as a young woman, having men talk down to you, and I am a telecom specialist. I have a master's degree in telecoms policy, and I still get guys who will start explaining to me how the tech works around the particular thing that I actually did my master's degree in. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
Mansplaining, they
I
call
can
it.
give you my thesis, if you want. But yeah, so that's how I landed up in tech, and being in tech, you immediately realize that this is it's not particularly equal. You have to fight harder to make your voice heard. You have to often repeat yourself. You have to
Wow.
talk over people. You almost have to be more aggressive to get that airtime, and yeah, that's again, it's exhausting. Eventually,
Mm.
I think a lot of women just eventually tune out of it because it's like this is just too hard,
Yeah.
and potter off and go start their own businesses doing something substantially less stressful.
Yeah, and also, have you established relationships with other women in the technology industry, and how are those relationships? Or is it difficult to create them in such a male-dominated environment?
Yeah, so there's kind of two. On the one hand, yeah, the women do tend to, certainly we've gotten a lot better at networking amongst ourselves over the last 20 years, and there are a lot of women in tech initiatives and events that bring us together and give us an opportunity to talk and to network and to give ourselves give each other a hand up. Where the old boys clubs and the boys networking is well known, and women have to be better at it. I think the problem is it kind of needs to be inclusive. We're not going to solve this problem without the men being on board, because you can't just having all of us talk to each other about our problems is cool and it's necessary, because we can share ideas about how to solve them, but it needs to be an inclusive sort of multi-pronged approach to how to solve the problem, and the men need to step up in terms of their allyship. They need to
Mm.
be turning around and going, guys, you've just said that we're going to do this, but Sam suggested that 10 minutes ago you talked over her, and that's not cool. And that's kind of thing, which for a lot of men is difficult and awkward because there's company politics, but it's not going to change if we keep on doing it the same way we always have.
You know, Samantha, inclusivity is not just about being there and being seen, so you're just present, but it's also about the environment itself. How can the environments adjust to assure that, support women in tech? How do you businesses do that? And also, how do the colleagues do that? How do the bosses do that? How do you recognize and give space for women to be and breathe within that inclusivity framework in the tech industries and businesses?
So we, for Women's Month, asked a bunch of our clients what, especially younger women, because Women's Month comes along and it's all of us director level types who are rolled out and asked to speak. So we asked a bunch of younger women in our client organizations what their pressures are and what they feel, and they came up with a couple of really, really good ideas. Danny Lifshitz, who's the talent and culture lead at GMHR, said that companies need to stop treating women as a side project. It's got to be baked into how you run the business. And that means creating space for quieter voices, building cultures where it's safe to challenge ideas, calling out bias, even the little stuff. Amber Sabodian, who's a customer experience specialist at Euphoria Telecom, says that it's often tough from a technical coordination background to be taken seriously in tech spaces, and that companies need to recognize the women doing the work behind the scenes, not just the ones in leadership positions. And I think that's important too, because it can be quite disheartening as a young woman to constantly be facing these barriers, and then you're not even getting recognition for the fact that you're showing up every day and fighting the good fight. Um, Anya from Peach Payments said that we need to build cultures of psychological safety and fair feedback and a genuine commitment to diverse leadership styles. And again, a lot of this just boils down to it's talk shops, and businesses need to upskill and empower women in tech industries more specifically. That was another one of the ladies from Euphoria Telecom said
Mm-hmm.
that. And I think that's very important, is that we prioritize technical career pathing for women, that we show women that there are technical options, that they can excel at them, that we show the women excelling at them publicly, that we recognize them publicly. And I was chatting to one of my other clients yesterday, and he's looked around at his organization and gone, we are not doing a good job of diversity. So he's now specifically and dedicatedly started hiring female interns and putting them on data science career paths
Mm-hmm.
and AI driven career paths. And he's like, here we are putting our money where our mouth is. And once they're done with these internships, we're hiring them into the business. We're not going to let them go out into the broader
Sure.
sector, because we need these skills. We need to change the face of our organization. And to
Mm-hmm.
do that, we need to put concrete plans in
Yeah.
place.
Thank you so much, Samantha. This has been a very helpful conversation, understanding the landscape of women in tech. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you very much.
And Samantha, maybe next time we'll bring in a dogs intake conversation and your dog can get their chance to shine as well.
Yeah, I think they were
Sorry,
missing a
I have
little.
a Boerboel puppy. He has no social skills.
No, don't worry about
I
it.
think they
it was
wanted a
nice
piece of
addition.
it.
Yeah.
Well, that's Samantha Perry, co-founder of Women in Tech.